And welcome back to the Fashion Icon. Today we have a special guest with us, and we're doing a kind of like a mini boot camp that we're doing, a 3-day event in only 3 hours. And the whole purpose of it is to be able to share our knowledge, share the knowledge of those people that are here with us today, and at the same time to empower these young girls that really want to improve their lives as a model, improve their lives as beauty queens and stuff like that. So I hope that this is a great event. And today with us, not only do I have a friend with me, Miss Deanna, but she is just a super expert, an international beauty queen, someone that has a vast knowledge, very, very vast knowledge of pageantry. So all I can say is I love you, girl.
Oh, I love you, Baron. We go way back, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We're not going to say how long.
We won't. No, it's fine.
No,
they don't need
But
to.
anyhow, just tell us a little bit about yourself, about so the girls get to know a little bit about you,
Yeah.
and at the same time your trajectory.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have been competing in pageants for almost 30 years. That makes me sound very old. But nobody needs to know that. Lots of experience. I started when I was 15 years old. I started in a mall pageant, stumbled across that, and then made my way all the way through competing at Mrs. America in 2013. So I have had extensive pageant experience. I have been Mrs. Florida America, Mrs. Galaxy International. That was an incredible experience.
That even made me cry.
For me to hold an international title. I was Miss Citrus. I competed at USOA. I was in the top 15 there at a pageant that is really focused on interview, which to me is always the most important part of competition. So
you're an expert coach at it.
You know, I have had the privilege of coaching in my years under some of the most incredible interview coaches. And for years and years, people told me, you really should coach, you really should coach, you really should coach. And while I competed, I was still working with coaches, and I thought, you know what, I'm not really in a place to coach yet. And then I retired, and now I'm a pageant mom. And I said, you know what, I really am good at this interview thing. As I look back at my awards and the placements and the amount of time that I won interview or placed in top because of an interview score, I thought, I'm really not giving myself enough credit for as good as I am at this interview thing. And so I said, yeah, I'm going to start sharing this knowledge with girls that really can use it. And so I started my coaching business last year, actually brand new in the coaching world, but having just an absolute blast getting a chance to really share that knowledge and watching these young women go from feeling nervous going into the interview room to coming out in tears because they feel like they've had the best interview of their life.
And I think that's what brings a uniqueness to your coaching system, because people relate to you. You're a very relatable, kind person, and it's like, I don't remember ever seeing you, without a smile. And that is, I guess that, the reason that I started the podcast and is to empower others, yes. Because I strongly believe that by sharing our knowledge, we can give a lot of information to just young girls. So what has been, like I would say, the biggest or advice that you can give to a young girl when they're going to go into an interview?
I always say the best advice I can give is to be you. And I know that sounds cliche. We always tell the girls, go in and be yourself and tell the judges who you are. But there is nothing more important than that. Because in a pageant, particularly that interview, you are interviewing for a job, right? You're interviewing to be a representative of this brand. So if you go in and you are pretending to be what they want you to be or what you think they want, now if you win, you have to spend your entire year with that facade. And who wants to do that, right? Nobody wants to do that. Be you, even if it's quirky, even if it's silly. Embrace your imperfections and just be who you are, because you want the judges to fall in love with you, because you're going to need to carry that for an entire year, and it's really hard to fake.
And I think you're doing a good job at that. And the whole thing, like she's saying, is be genuine. And when she says be you, and oftentimes a lot of girls misunderstanding. It's just that they learn the script, and they go on out and say it verbatim, and then there's no feeling, there's no passion, and the judges can tell. The judges can tell when it's that, and that's the good thing that I hear. That's the kind of reputation that you have on that. And you know, some of the girls, I do like a little question and answer thing about people and what it is that you look into. And some of the questions that one of the girls asked is, what exercise or how can I improve my speaking ability in front of the judges?
I love, and you can ask my daughter, prior to pageants when we are getting ready, I will drill my daughter with questions over and over and over again. I don't care what the question is. We will go somewhere, we will come see Mr. Barron, and I would say, Mr. Barron, ask her a question. Because the more that you practice, it's like anything. The more that you practice, the better you're going to get. And the more that you practice, the more natural you're going to sound answering a question. The thing is a lot of girls, and I can say this because I have the experience as a contestant in the interview room as well, is you think that they're looking for the right answer. There's no right answer. When you're talking about yourself, they have no idea what you're going to say. There's no right or wrong. I mean, you could make something up off the fly. They would never even know that. It's how you're going to deliver it and how confident you sound in doing it. So practice. It sounds silly. Ask your family, ask your friends, ask your coaches. Hey, ask me a question. Let me just sit down with you for 5 minutes and just ask me some questions.
And it's interesting that you say that, because that's an amazing part that we teach in our interviews. Is like, it's just, I give them a barrage of questions.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter what it is.
Nope.
What color's your car?
Yep.
What color's your mother's car? What does your mom wants to do?
So
Just
true.
silly stuff that you're like, wow.
Right.
And,
Yep.
And it's just about creating, it's a mental exercise that is kind of like a muscle. You stop exercising, the muscle goes away, and that's what you're doing. You know, it's brain power.
Absolutely.
Which is great. I mean, we also have one exercise that the lady that I was talking to you
Yes.
about, she taught us, and it's kind of like the vowels in Spanish, and a lot of actors and you know, a lot of high-end people do, and it's the same vowels in Spanish or as in German is a, e, I, o, u. And then after that, they put feelings. And when she put me to do that in front of the mirror, I felt stupid because it's like, hey. I'm like, I don't want to see
You're like, this looks
myself like that.
ridiculous.
Yeah, but you know, it
Well, it adds that emotion. And then I think that that's part of it too. Answering the question isn't just about answering the question. It's about being you in answering the question, adding that emotion. Are you excited? Does it make you feel excited? Does it make you feel scared? Does it make you feel like you portraying that emotion in that question is just as important as what you're going to say.
Okay. And like on some of the pageants that have this on-stage question, tell me a little bit about that.
You know, on-stage question I think is one of the biggest fears of pageant contestants, even outside of interview, because in interview it's private, right? You're talking to the judges. On stage you are in front of everyone. And so yes, it can be incredibly intimidating, especially if you don't know the question. Some pageants you know the question ahead of time, so you have the time to prepare. In those, again, just practicing. When I coach girls in those types of pageants, we practice months in advance, and I will call them, okay, I want to hear your answer. I will have them send me voice clips of the answers over and over and over again, so I can, you know, make sure that they're tweaking it right. If it's a question that you don't know, it comes down to really, I've always said that there is a way to say what you want to say no matter what the question is. And that takes a little bit of practice, but whatever that question is, it's taking a minute to pause, because we've all seen this. We've seen these poor women on stage get a question that hits them in the face, and all of a sudden their mouth starts going and their brain hasn't really caught up, and you're just watching this poor woman just sink deeper and deeper.
You and I had that conversation about the power of pause.
Oh my gosh.
Tell them about that.
There is nothing more important. And it's awkward, right? It feels like a long delay when you're somebody who's doing a pause. So if Barron asks me a question and I don't know what to say, I could say, well, oh gosh, I don't, okay, well that doesn't make me look very confident, right? But if I stop for a second, Baron, I really think that makes me look controlled. And that didn't seem like a long pause to you guys, but to me, yeah, maybe it felt like forever. But that time gives me a moment to gather my thoughts, think how I'm going to say it. And honestly, you should be pausing even if you know the answer. Even if you know what you want to say, giving that pause just really grabs the attention of the judges. It really allows them to, oh, she's got something to say. And I want to hear what she has to say. So do not be afraid of the pause. Pause before you answer a question. Pause to show emotion. If you've just made a statement that is really big and heartfelt, let it sink in, right? Let it sink in for the judges. Let it sink in for people. That pause really, there's so much in that few second pause that is invaluable. Absolutely invaluable.
And a little secret about that pause. I use it as a time killer when we coach our girls, because the longer the pause, not only are you being able to think and stuff, but at the same time, you're killing a few seconds that they're not going to be able to.
It's so true. Yeah.
To ask you more, I was working with a girl, and normally we don't do coaching, but because I do all of this, not interviews, but like public speaking courses for CEOs and stuff like that, I turned it around, and we were really fighting. And I said, this is a Hail Mary. Let's just go with it. And she said, Baron, that's crazy. I don't, and I said, yes, you can do it. Okay? So the girl turned around and they asked her a question, and she just went to the judges. That is a really interesting question. What do you think about that? She turned it around and asked her question to the judges, and I was like, oh, she did it. She did it. We are so dead.
Oh, that's funny. I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it as something consistently, but in a moment, in a Hail Mary, in a panic, it's a personality. You're showing your personality.
I just went with it, and I just told her, gosh. Look, if it comes down to it, just look at the judges, right dead in the eyes, smile, and it's like, that is such an interesting question. What did you think about that? And just lean into it. And she did. When she came back, she was crying, and I said, oh my God, we totally screwed up, Baron. I think you were. Like, I'm going to fire me.
I love it. But that, again, that's a perfect example of there's no right or wrong answer, and it really is about personality. As somebody who has judged at the international level, I'm going to tell you that a girl who can make me laugh, a girl who can show me her personality, especially if it's a tough question or in a moment like that, I'm going to remember that more than I'm going to remember the girl before her who struggled to answer a question and didn't really know what she was going to say. Because now oh my gosh, that girl was hysterical. I remember her. She asked me how I felt.
It all goes back to you were saying at the beginning is, first know your subject and be genuine.
Always. Always.
Genuine. So I have other girls, was asking me, how can they be a little bit more confident?
Yeah, one of the tips that I give my girls is confidence really comes from mindset, right? So you've got to get in the right mindset before you get into the interview room. I see lots of girls sitting and panicking, going through their binders, going through their bio sheets, doing all this. Oh my gosh, how am I going to talking to themselves in the corner, right? I've been there. We've all been there. If I could tell you to do anything, it would be to burn the darn bio sheets and get rid of it after you've submitted it,
Just
right?
Be yourself.
Because you already know yourself. You know everything about you. There are no wrong answers about yourself. So now it's about getting in the right mindset so that when you walk into that interview room, you are on cloud nine. And I was asking the girls if they had seen the movie Rocky, which about half of them are looking at me like I have 3 heads. So I don't know if that's aging me or not, but I've given them the homework to go home and watch Rocky. But in that movie, Rocky's training for a really, really big fight, and his Eye of the Tiger music comes on, and he is training really hard, and at the very end, he's running up these stairs in Philadelphia, and he gets to the top, and he is just on top of the world. And so I tell my girls to find their Rocky music, right? So before I go in interview, you will see me outside with earbuds, pacing back and forth, listening to my worship music in my own complete zone. The building could literally burn down and I would not know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, we're talking about triggers.
Absolutely. Because I am in my own zone. I am letting go of everything else and just getting to that place for me. So find the song, find the podcast, find an inspirational speech, find somebody who fires you up and makes you feel really good about yourself. Have somebody pray over you. Whatever it is that gets you into that mindset before you go into the room, that's what you should be doing prior to. That's what's going to give you the confidence when you step in.
It's something that is very interesting. Like I mentioned before, it's like I have my own trigger. My trigger is like I have certain music and I have a playlist that I can share with you, and it's just I'll come in and I'll start. And then I just blast that music and and then it just takes me to that rocky moment. Whereas it just kind of like it wakens you up, because the brain, scientifically proven, the brain cannot tell reality from a dream.
Nope.
Okay, it cannot. Okay, so it's just like, for instance, the brain cannot keep two thoughts at a time. So if you're scared, it's just going to concentrate on that. Break the train of thought. Okay, and just go into like smile, force yourself to smile, move, dance, get the music, and it will automatically, it only takes a few seconds, it's going to change your whole demeanor, your whole attitude.
Absolutely.
For it. So that it's, it's very, very interesting, that she says that. I have one girl that she considers herself a perfectionist, and she falls into that trap when in an interview.
I, as a self-proclaimed perfectionist myself, I can appreciate what that is like and how difficult that is. And I think being an international judge and sitting on judging panels now for both national, international, state level pageants for many, many years, I've really gotten a different concept as to what comes across and what is portrayed from a contestant. And I can tell you that nobody expects perfect. Nobody wants perfect. And we go back to the BU, right? I don't want somebody who's going to come up and give me a perfect hair, not a single one out of place, a perfect poised answer that seems like it was written, specifically for you, that you've rehearsed 100 times. I want somebody I can relate to. You have got to be relatable.
That's the word.
You have
got to be relatable. I try to tell people, if you are relatable, you will be remembered.
Yes.
You're relatable.
Yes.
You don't do an interview. You tell a story.
Absolutely.
Engage. Be relatable. I'm so happy that you said that, Deanna, because it's just so. I tell people, it's like,
you
stop
have to
being
be
fake. Stop reading the damn thing.
Forget
it. Everything you learn and you have in writing, like you said, burn it. Get rid of it. Get in your zone. Get in your mindset and do that.
You're just speaking to somebody. They want to get to know you. And again, you're talking about interviewing for a position. So you're talking about a pageant, right? You're going to be this title holder for a year. You're going to be out and about doing public appearances. People are going to come up and talk to you. I want to choose somebody that anybody can come up to and talk, right? I want you to be imperfect. I want you to be who you are. I want you to be able to relate to people of all lifestyles, all ages, I throw perfect out the window. Nobody wants perfect. Being imperfect and embracing those flaws and imperfection is exactly where you need to be.
I don't remember what I read or I heard that it says, be perfectly imperfect.
Yes. It's one of my favorite mindsets, I think, because our imperfections are what set us apart, right? Nobody's perfect to begin with. We all have our little qualms and our quirks, and those imperfections are what makes us unique. And we have to embrace them, and we have to be proud of them, right? We try so hard to hide our imperfections and run away from them. Maybe it's a stutter. Maybe it's you have anxiety. Maybe it's a physical condition. Maybe whatever it is, embrace it, because you'd be so surprised how many people around you feel the same they are, but yet they see you and they think, oh my gosh, here's this young lady who has a stutter and she's up on stage. If she can do that, I can do that. So embrace it.
It's so funny that you say that, because I have two. One that happened yesterday, but I went when I was interviewed to do the Pure International Pageant. It's a very Christian based, and all that is like, why are these people wasting their time? You know, everybody knows who I am. I like.
We love you for who you are.
You know, it's me. They're not gonna hire me. They're very Christian based, and I say special words.
That's special words.
And there's like, I just had to ask him. It's like, you know, I mean, I just want you to know that, you know, it's like I speak a lot of foul, you know, it's, you know, and I say
I'll have a cigar in my mouth.
Yeah, and, you know, it's like, I don't know if I'm the perfect photographer for you. And the old director and the new director looked at me and it says, that's what we love about you.
Yes.
Because underneath all of that, there's a true person.
Yep.
And that's what Christianity is all about. And, you know,
Amen.
I'm a faithful man. I mean, people don't even know that I go to, I mean, I'm Catholic, but I go to an Orthodox church because I feel at home at that. And, you know, underneath that, and yesterday I got a call to invite me to be a keynote speaker for a national Hispanic coalition.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah, and I'm like,
congratulations. Wow.
Are these people serious? I'm not a goddamn public speaker. You know, this is
come
like
on.
for presidents and shit like that to be that.
Wow,
And-
Baron, that's amazing.
And, you know, it was like,
Wow.
they want a genuine guy.
That's exactly what they want.
They know
That's
what the hell
exactly
they
what
got.
they know exactly what they want. But see, that's exactly the point. What you're saying right here is you are never fake. You are never anybody other than Baron. So when they choose you, they know exactly what they're
I
getting.
know the people are watching.
And they
I just do the
love you for
podcast
that.
Because I do that. I go rant and I
Yes.
say whatever's on my mind. And it's like some people are like, hey, you're a little off the whip. But you know what? I've always said I'm not going
You're
to change.
you.
I don't want to change.
No,
I'm
and
too
you
old
shouldn't.
to fucking change. There
We
it
should
goes.
not change who we are because honestly, we're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I once had to listen to a public speaker. She was an incredible public speaker. Her name is Judy Holler. And she said, newsflash, not everyone likes you. And not everyone is going to like you. And that hit me like a wall. And I thought, she's right. There are people that are just not going to like me. And you know what? I'm going to be okay because these people just don't like me. That's on them. That's not on me. I'm not going to change who I am because somebody doesn't like me. And, you know, it goes back to just always staying genuine to who you are. And people will love you for who you are. And those are the people you want in your life.
Now, one of my, I listen to a lot of country, massively lots of country music. And now my new idol, you have to listen to these things. I don't know if some of your girls have said it. He is Kane Walker.
I have heard of Kane Walker.
His songs are like, the way I was raised, I don't care, it ain't my problem.
Yep.
Don't tread on me, still standing, freedom,
Yes.
loyalty, can't break me, walk my way, you know, and it's like, keep my name out of your mouth.
I love this.
Listen to the lyrics of that.
These sound like Rocky
It's-
moments. Add them to
yeah,
your playlist.
It is like, I don't give a fuck about what you think about me because I am me, basically. And the message that it sends, you know, Kane Walker, I strongly suggest them because I love, like you say, it's that Rocky moment and it's about genuinely. So because we have short times, we have other people think, I want you to do like, resume everything that you can tell a girl to get ready for an interview, and then I want you to let the public that is here and the people that are watching on YouTube, how can they get a hold of you for a one-on-one interview?
Absolutely. So again, I think interview starts long before you walk into your interview. One, how do you look? What are you wearing? You know, how you feel is going to be portrayed. So make sure you feel amazing. And whatever it is that you're wearing. I know a lot of girls, and when I was younger, I'd let a lot of people talk me into something I should wear, and I may not have felt the most confident in it. Make sure you feel amazing before you go into an interview.
In other words, that your outfit empowers you.
Outfit empowers you. Your shoes feel great. Your hair looks amazing. Maybe you want to wear it up. Maybe you want to, whatever it is, make sure you feel amazing. Step one, okay? Because that's going to be portrayed. Step two, get in the right mindset. We talk about the Rocky moment. Get in the right mindset. Listen to your music. Burn the bio sheets. Let it all go. Relax before you go into an interview, okay? You are being judged from the second you walk into that room. I can tell you the second. Before you get to that chair, before you get to that table, you are being judged the second you walk in. So make sure the second you walk in, your head is high, your smile is on, and you are ready to go. And greet your judges. Don't wait for them to greet you. Hey, judges, good morning, good afternoon. And one tip I love to give girls, and I never really learned this until I was a judge, if there is a chair there and they don't tell you to sit, ask to sit. May I sit? Because again, you're giving this conversation right from the beginning. May I sit? Yeah, please sit down. Please sit down. Okay. Eye contact. We all know this. This is so important. One tip I give my girls is start with the judge that asked you the question. Start. Make sure as you're answering the question, you're looking at the eyes of all of the judges, and finish your question with the same judge that asked you the question. Eye contact is key. Okay. If you talk with your hands, that's okay. Listen, I'm Italian, Baron. I talk with my hands. I spent years having people tell me, don't do that in your interview. Sit on your hands.
Hey,
don't
hold
talk
on for a second. You keep on do that. I'm going to go and scream at people that are talking out there.
Oh, you better go tell them. So, people would tell me, sit on your hands. Don't talk with your hands. That looks unprofessional. Listen, I talk with my hands, and I'm going to always talk with my hands. But that's what makes it comfortable for me. So again, staying true to who you are, how you would have a normal conversation with somebody. They're just judges. They're just people. They just want to know who you are. I love screaming at people too.
Yeah, it's like, we're in Miami. They're Cubans. It's like, shut the hell up.
My Spanish is muy mal, but anyway. So yeah, I mean, and don't hesitate. Like I said, don't hesitate to pause, to bring humor. I always tell my girls, if you can make the judges laugh one time, you are going to be so golden. Whatever that is. Whatever that is, make the judges laugh. Don't hesitate to share your personality. I think when Annie did her interview for Galaxy, they had asked her about, she's a twin, and they asked her about her brother, tell me about your brother. And one of the things that we worked on was, okay, he's 2 minutes older than me, but he's a lot shorter than me. And so the judges think, they kind of connect with that. Like, don't hesitate to be real. Let the judges know who you are.
You want to be remembered. And now I believe that you have a question. What is your question? Talk loud so we can.
I need to connect them to that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You may.
No problem.
No, you're good, love. And did you have a question? Yeah.
What song do you use for your Rocky moment?
Oh, that's a great question. Again, I am a worship person, so I listen to all kinds of worship music, but Fear is a Liar is one of my favorite songs that I listen to, because the message in that song, right? We are afraid that we're not good enough. We're afraid that we're going to be judged. We are afraid of things that we should not be afraid of. Fear is a liar. Get it out of your system, get it out of your head, and just go in confident knowing you are good enough, you are worthy, you are strong, you are beautiful, and you will be amazing.
And one of the things that I'm going to do is that I'm going to go ahead and create a list of some of the songs that I have. Is like Feel the Spirit, Rise for the Phoenix, Spirit of the Ancestor, Triumph and Victory, Final Battle. These are all, songs that some are, I would say it's like faith-based.
Yeah.
But it's like the music is so intense that you don't even listen to the words because it just drives you.
And the message too. Another one that is like, I call it my power song when I'm on stage is Girl on Fire.
Oh, yeah.
And when I competed at Perfect, I remember telling Arnaldo, I had a red dress, and I was like, you need to play this song when I'm on the stage. Because, I hit that stage and that song came on.
Do you have the video? Because that
somewhere, yeah.
Because that
the rest of the room was gone. I was just in a moment like,
sweetheart. But do you remember how you were? The rest of the room was gone.
I remember you crying when
yeah, because she just came out and I was like,
Well, I don't think you
it's
had
like
seen me compete for a
Suan
really.
comes over and says, "Hey, take pictures." And oh shit.
He literally was. Baron was crying when I came off the stage, and he was. I don't know that I've ever seen you do that before. And yeah,
No,
it was
but
just
it was
a
powerful.
mindset,
It
you
was
know, and
powerful.
and I could feel it. I could feel it right in everything that I was. It was coming across. So.
Okay,
Find your-
Miss
yeah, find
Designer
yours.
there. We have someone that's Mary. It's something about Mary.
I love it.
That's her clothing line.
I love it.
Shoes.
I
Yeah.
love it. Of course, and they're
Something-
pink and bling, so I'm
Yeah.
already in.
Yeah. And I should have introduced myself.
That's all good. It's all good. You were filling out your paperwork.
As what you said. Are there any questions during interview that they ask that you really try hard to avoid? And when you try to avoid them, what would you suggest to say?
I would say in most pageants, you're going to get answers or questions about yourself. But this also ties into what I tell my girls to research your pageant ahead of time and make sure that you're in the right fit of a pageant. Make sure that you know if I'm going into, maybe this pageant is more conservative and maybe you're not more conservative person and you're not going to really align with that or vice versa, right? So research beforehand so that you know.
Yeah, one of my things when my daughter was being pageant, and this goes back to me being an intelligence officer in the Marines, I did my research, okay? And my children's mom was worse than me, okay? It's very simple. Most of the time, the pageant directors are going to get judges
Yes.
that are friends of them.
And they're going to align.
So I did my research to the extent of obsessive compulsive,
Yep.
of looking at, do they have judges that they bring always in past years that they keep on coming?
Right.
Okay, who are their friends on social media that are potentially judges? Number one thing that Deanna said that is super important is, are you a good match for the pageant? Number one. Not every pageant is for you, okay? What is it traditional? Is it more conservative?
Right.
Is it more modern? Okay. What are possible questions that you've had? I say buy the video from the previous year, okay, and get a real feel
Sure.
of what it is. Because the more that you know about the pageant, you need to be well informed, and that is a part of it. That is very, very key.
Yeah, and I think too, and I very specifically remember this, not long ago I competed at the national level, and in the interview I was asked a very political question about the termination of a pregnancy. And I answered the question. I was competing in the Mrs. division. I am a married woman. Was of childbearing years. I have a stance on that, and I'm comfortable sharing that stance, whatever that stance is. It doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It doesn't mean somebody's going to agree with it or not. But you've asked for my opinion, and this is how I'm going to portray that very confidently in what that is. Later on, they got wind that this question was being asked, and they nixed it and
Yeah,
told the
and-
judge
and
to stop asking it
quite
because
frankly,
women were very uncomfortable with it.
Most of the times, even though they may not agree with your answer for whatever
Correct.
political reason, they're going to value the fact that you stand
Yes.
for something.
And that's exactly my point. You be you. It goes back to be you. So whatever your true answer is, do not hesitate to share that. Don't answer what you think they want to hear if that's not how you feel.
So any final thoughts, and where can they get a hold of you?
You can reach me through social media. I'm happy to also, I have some business, I don't know if I brought my business cards, share my contact with you. You can find me on Facebook under my name, Deanna Silva, Instagram as well. That's usually the best way to reach me, message me on there. And I do interview coaching virtually in person for pageants, but also for job interview, polishing, coaching, school, college application interviews, all kinds of interview coaching. So not
Okay,
just
so
just
you've
pageant
heard it
trait.
from the expert. See, we have one last question.
How do you spell your name?
It's Deanna Silva, Silva.
And you're going to get all of that on a little email that we're going to send you all. So thank you all for it. Okay, we have another question.
Sorry. What tip would you give to a person who's having an interview one-on-one or in a bunch of public?
Okay, speak a little louder so we can hear it.
That's
to
okay.
show that they're not nervous, although they're really anxious inside.
Yeah, that's a really common thing is, we feel nervous. So I think it goes back to your hand placement. I tell my girls a lot if they're feeling a little bit nervous to hold their hands in their lap. Gives, a little bit of that tension out, right? But again, it starts from before you've gone into that interview. Are you in the right mindset before you walked in? Because I promise you, if you've done your Rocky moment before you've gone in, you're going to let go of a lot of that tension. But also, as soon as you answer that first question and you've answered it confidently and comfortably, relax, because there's no wrong answer. And that's what I think so many girls have to just keep in their head when they go into the interview process is they're not here to trick you. We all think, oh my gosh, I did have one judge one time ask me why the sun sets in the east in an interview. And I was like, say what now? Because the sun rises in the east. But I didn't know it. She was just trying to see if I was listening to the question. And I wasn't. I told her I had bombed earth science when I was in school. What kind of question is that? But anyway, so they're not going to ask you factual questions. They're not trying to trick you. They just want to get to know you. That's it. That's all it is. They just want to get to chat with you. That's all an interview is.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing some of your knowledge.
Thank you.
I'm sure that some of these girls are going to be calling you because
Please do.
and it's all basic. Everything that you said,
Yes.
and it's just being able to get, like you say, get in the zone, get ready,
Yeah.
make sure that you study what the pageant is for, make sure that you have the right dress, make sure more than anything that you are on the right mindset, positive,
Absolutely.
get ready right before it. So once again, thank you.
Thank
Stay
you,
tuned.
Baron.
You got it. If you have any questions, look her up, right in all the social medias that she's got, and she's going to give you a world of just knowledge like you wouldn't believe. So I strongly suggest get in the zone and go ahead and be positive about contacting Deanna. Thank you.
Thank you, Baron, for
we're gonna be
having me.
coming back soon for our next speaker.